Now we're going to come down here to the bottom. And this is where our little pocket goes. And this is where we also did that little tuck. So if I can move this in. We're going to work on our center panel. So this is 8 1/4 by 6. It doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom because this is a pocket. But you want to install this before you do your pocket. So let me move this out of the way. Bring in my scoring tool, and I have two 1 inch by 4 inch strips of cardstock, and I'm going to score these every 1/4 inch. All right. It's actually easier if you don't work into the corner. All right. Now we're going to fold these mountain, valley, mountain. And if you don't know what a mountain fold is, it has a peak at the top. A valley has a dip in the middle. These are our expandable pocket gussets. These are handy, handy, handy. You will find yourself using these a lot. If you want to tuck something in, but you don't want to go to all the trouble of doing a box pocket, these will work for certain things. For certain things they won't, but for some things, like a Ghirardelli chocolate, they would work just fine. Okay. Open up our folio. Okay. So we're going to take our adhesive and we're going to put it on the top. And you can see the cut edge is over here on the right. The folded edges are over here on the left. And I want to line this up so that it's right at the top and along the edge. And then we're just going to repeat this over here. The folded edge is always going to go against the outside edge of your pocket. Okay. So now put adhesive on this flap. Fold this up. Burnish it down. I think we're good here. And see, now you've got this little pocket that has these little expandable gussets on the sides. All right. So to cover this, I've cut an 8 1/4 by 4 1/8 inch piece of our pansy pattern, the same one that we used up above. And then I've got this little border strip that I also trimmed to 8 1/4. That's going to go right here. Okay, so we want to build like a little collage down here. So let's bring in, everything is figure outable. Okay, let's just do it like that. And I've got this cute typewriter that says, "Renew your mind." Okay, and that goes in that pocket, on that pocket. Okay, so over here on the right, I've put down a 4 1/8 by 8 piece of our solid print. This was just a scrap that I had. And then from our last piece of 12 by 12, I cut a 4 1/4 by 8-inch piece, and I put my gussets on the back. And we're just going to glue this down to make our pocket. So for our little folio to go inside, I cut one 6 by 6.5 and one 6 by 6 piece of my blackberry cardstock. I scored a 1/2 inch flap and wrapped it around to make a 6 by 6 card base. And on the inside, I've just lined it with 5 3/4 inch pieces of both the heartfelt and then a little cream paper. The cover is this heartfelt Creations print, and I had this little scrap left. It wasn't quite wide enough, so I just tore it in half, put it on the sides. We're going to bring in our violet image from the 8 by 8. Like this. And then I've got these puffy stickers. I think I need to put adhesive on these. Anyway, I'm going to put beautiful along the bottom. So there's that. I just put these 3 little enamel dots down the side, and that finishes up our little 6 by 6 folio that goes in this pocket. And then I want to glue down this little piece. I cut a couple of banner flags, and I'm not sure where I want to put them. This is obviously going to have to go at an angle. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I'm just gluing these together, and you want to line these up so that, you know, your point goes into the hollow of the one above it. And then I'm just going to take this guy . And that tucks back behind. Okay. And then this little butterfly. To go right here. So that finishes that page. Now we're going to work on this left-hand flap, and I cut a 12-inch by 8-inch panel of this pattern from Darcel, and I scored it at 4 1/2. So it looks like this. Then I cut a little 4" by 1.5" of our pansies on the inside, because this had a very, it was roses, and I didn't want the roses, but I do like the lines and the patterns. So on the cover of this, we're going to take our little ephemera card, journal card, and I added some tags to the back, just cut from scraps. And this is going to go down just like this. So now you've got a journaling spot. And we open this up. And over here, we need to make a pocket. And we're going to use this. This says grateful, kind, thankful, blessed. Bring in a scrap of your blackberry. Trim that along the top. Bring in your scoring tool. Trim out these corners. This becomes a sweet little pocket. We can put this in the pocket, or actually let's put this one that says lovely. Let's put that in the pocket, and then our pretty little tag in the pocket. And I think that's pretty good. And let's take our little frame. Center it up over thankful and kind. Okay, so that is that. All right, over here we need, let's go 5 by 5 3/4. Our photo mat. Let's take this little camera from the ephemera. Right here. This 2 is also from the ephemera. And then this sweet little heart. And the word love. Okay. Takes care of that page. All right. So now the next step is to put in our magnets. We're going to put this magnet right here. I apologize for the banging. My neighbor is building. I don't know how I ended up with all negative magnets, but I did. So what I'm going to do is put a little score tape on this. So now we're going to do this flap page, and to save paper I decided to cut 1 inch paper strips, and I'm mitering my corners. So when you miter the corners, you're just going to lay them perpendicular over one another and cut from inside corner to outside corner. Your longer pieces are going to go on the sides, and your shorter pieces, see how this will line up. And then you can just cut your piece of blank paper to go in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the first one down. The sides are 8, and the top and bottom are 7.5. So this is actually 5 3/4 by 6, just so you know. So that's a little photo layout, and we can take a little postage stamp down in the corner like that. Okay, and that's that page. Alright guys, what do you say we finish this guy up? So we're to our front flap. We finished our inside. I added this little puffy sticker here. I probably shouldn't have, because it makes it a little harder for the magnet to grab, but it'll be okay. So I took our last journal card and I matted it on a slightly larger piece of cardstock so that I have my 1/2 inch margins, and I've turned this into a pocket. So you can see it was just like about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch wider on 3 sides. And I've got this partial postage stamp I'm going to tuck behind like that. Then I took, just working with the scraps that were on my table, I took this 5 by 5 inch square of the Darcel paper and matted it on a piece of blackberry, and that's going to slip into our pocket. And then I took our last postage stamp and I cut a piece of blackberry to 3 inches by 6 inches, and then matted it with 2 7/8 by probably 5 7/8, yep, of our patterns and solids, and then matted the faithful saying on a little bit of the blackberry and turned this into a little bookmark, and this can go in here. Then the last thing we have is this sweet little tag thing. I think I'm just going to tuck it in here, and I might just very quickly put it on a scrap of blackberry. Right. And now this tucks in here. And the only thing we have left to do is to install our cover. Oops, we're just going to line this up. All right, guys, you think you can make it? I think you can. And let me know in the comments if you want me to continue with this series. I think they're fun. I'm going to make them for me anyway, even if I don't make them for our monthly. But we'll just take a quick look at the inside. I did add this little thing here and this little thing here. Little heart here. This flips out. Here's a nice photo mat. Here's our little pocket with our February calendar and a little folio in there, so that's nice. And then here's this little pocket that we just finished. This flips out. We've got a nice photo spot. In the center, I made a little notebook. I just put a little pad in there and glued it in, decorated it up. Little ATC envelope. Over here's our side pocket with our little folio that we made. These are pretty, you guys. I like them. And I'm amazed that I was able to combine 3 different paper collections, and they look really good together. So that's a cool thing. It's always fun when you can use stuff from your stash. So there we go, all finished. And I'm going to clean up and go fix dinner because it's that time of day. But thank you so much for joining me. Graphic 45 Flower Market Folios. Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Go get your craft on.